I did mine on college sports, and just, I mean, has anyone ever played like an EA Sports video game? Like they have NCAA football and basketball, everything. Um, this year they're not coming out with the 15 because NCAA players and current and former players went and sued NCAA for being too likely. They look too much, acted like, and had the same attributes as same players. So they're not going to have a new NCAA football 15. Uh, these past players or former players are now getting paid for it. They just won a big lawsuit, and they're getting a little bit of money for the losses that they had. But the current college athletes that are playing right now aren't allowed to get any of this money. So I'm going to start with the reasons for why college athletes or people think they shouldn't get paid. Every sport doesn't generate money for the universities. People think that some schools are just breaking even. If you look at a small school like Siena, you might not think that we're making any money, but I'll show you in the slide later that most schools are making money and they're making a significant amount of money. Athletes are able to work regular jobs or school-given jobs, but they just choose not to. I'll show you later that we're pretty busy, and although I know everyone else is pretty busy, there's a lot of things that we have to take into consideration for us. And they're already given a stipend through athletic scholarships. We are given athletic scholarships, but there's a big misconception about how much an athletic scholarship is really worth in all sports and who actually gets athletic scholarships. So I'm going to talk about the NCAA first. The NCAA claims that they're a nonprofit association, and it stands for the National Collegiate Athletic Association. And in the association, there's about 1,280 teams or institutions, and it was founded by Theodore Roosevelt. In the past year, it generated $6 billion or each year generates $6 billion annually. And in the 2012 Final Four for basketball and for March Madness and everything, each ad was $700,000 for 30 seconds. So they make a lot of money for each thing. For the March Madness, they just signed a deal until 2024 for about $10 billion to view all the games. So they're making a ton of money, and they're claiming it all, but it's not going back to any of the athletes, only really the coaches. All right. The NCAA, it offers incentives and benefits to coaches when they advance deeper into tournaments. So when any team in football, when they would go to a certain bowl, they would set standards in the beginning of the season, and when they hit these standards, coaches could get $1 million in benefits and like an extra salary. And colleges receive stipends for players breaking school records or winning national awards. So when Johnny Manziel won the Heisman Trophy last year, his coach and his school got a huge incentive just for him winning it. And even when Johnny Manziel's from Texas A&M, he's a quarterback, and when he won the Heisman, he started signing autographs for people under the table, and he made a couple bucks, and he got suspended for the first half of his opening senior game. And players are not allowed to receive any of these incentives. Like I said, Johnny Manziel got in trouble for it, and any other players found um, taking incentives for anything are going to get fined, or they're going to get in trouble and lose eligibility. So scholarships, only 2% of high school athletes that are looking to play in college are going to receive an NCAA athletic scholarship. And of those scholarships, there's only the average amount per student for the 4 years is only $11,000. So when you hear someone that gets a scholarship, it doesn't mean that they got a full ride, they're not paying a dime for school. Most of them are paying still most of the amount of school. And there's two different kinds of scholarships. There's head count and equivalency sports. Head count sports are football, basketball, and I think maybe baseball. It depends on which university it is, but head count sports are you're given a certain amount of scholarships, and you're not allowed to break those up. So for football, it's about 50 scholarships, and you're not allowed to break them up into partial scholarships. 50 athletes are getting everything for free. Equivalency sports are everything else. Here at Siena, for us, it's volleyball has them, lacrosse has equivalency, and I think women's softball does as well. Equivalency scholarships, you get a certain amount based on what your head count scholarship is, and then you're given a percentage of what that is equal to the school's amount. So for us, we have 12.6 scholarships here at Siena for lacrosse, and you can break them up evenly, or you can distribute them however you would like. So just some more background about scholarships. 600,000 girls competed in track and field in high school, and of those, only 4,506 scholarships were given to be distributed between all of them. There was 9,888 athletes, and they all averaged $8,105 per athlete for 4 years. And then for boys, 330,000 boys competed in high school soccer, and there was 2,357 soccer scholarships for 2008. And these scholarships were split between 6,047 athletes and averaged $8,500 per athlete. So when you hear that someone gets a scholarship, it's not that they're going to school completely for free. There's certain sports that do and certain sports that don't. So why pick college athletes? I believe that they generate money and prospective students to their institutions. It's proven that big schools, or state schools, and even big schools that have good football teams or basketball teams, any sport that's really good, is going to generate extra money for their university. They do not have the opportunity to generate money outside of their sport. When you're in season, every weekend you're gone from Friday to Sunday, and then during the week you're either practicing for 3 hours a day, or you have some kind of community service or something else that you have to attend to be a part of the team. And they risk their career and life-altering injury each season. There's a ton of guys that we don't hear about, and girls that get hurt every single year, that either are paralyzed and can't walk anymore, they tear their ACL and lose eligibility, and these can also lead to losing your scholarship and not being able to afford school and having to drop out. And here, it's just a picture on the bottom. It says $53.4 million combined in salaries of the highest paid college football coaches, and $0 combined salaries of 13,877 Division I college football players. So what sports generate money? I was looking, and each university doesn't want to give you exactly how much they make. I have another slide that'll show us how much each football team makes. But this little clip right here is about hockey, and I didn't know that hockey made so much money. But if you look at the bottom, it says college hockey players generate rents in excess of $100,000 per year for the typical institution. So they're making $100,000 extra for their school and helping them out. And other sports that I found that helped their institution were football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, and soccer. So these are the amounts of money that each university has generated, or the top 24 universities generated just through the football. If you look at the top, Alabama, just through ticket sales alone, they made $28 million, and their total revenue was $123,769,841. I don't have it in the slide, but Florida by themselves, their football stadium last year, the amount they generated through sports, just football, was able to pay for their entire athletic program as well as their university and to cover their stadium costs. So they are making money, and they're helping the university by being able to pay for certain things. And in 1981, there was a group of 5 guys called the Fab Five from Michigan, and in the beginning of the year, the sports was not generating that much money. It was only generating $1.5 million. And by the end of the Fab Five's 4 years in college, they generated $10 million for the university. They became famous. They were like the first guys to start all 5 African American players, and they did really well, and it generated $8.5 million for their school in extra funds. No opportunities to generate spending money. There was a poll conducted on Division I football players, and they said that 43 hours were spent practicing a week. It's different for every sport, but I mean, we're just up there as well. Division I baseball players had 42 hours on sports. It's a lot of work. Every day you have at least 3 hours of practice. You have an hour of study hall that you have to go to, and you also have to worry about schoolwork. And the poll was taken, and the average hours spent on schoolwork a week was about 14 hours. And practice time interferes with any job opportunities that we can get. We end the day usually at 6, and on certain days, even if we have practice, you can't really find anything after that to work. And we also have to worry about homework and any games. So I just put up my schedule this year. I didn't include homework or any of the weekend activities that we have to do, but just so you know, like a couple times this month, we would have to leave on Friday nights or in the middle of the day on Friday. We would leave and we would go for a full community service trip on Friday, Saturday, and come back on Sunday night. We're doing one this weekend where I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 6, and we have to go to New Jersey, and we're going to be there all week. I have 2 exams on Monday, so it kind of stinks, but we're just really busy. And this doesn't include the study hall hours that we have to attend to. You have to attend at least 8 hours of study hall if you're not a scholar or on an athletic scholarship. So each week everyone's jammed into a room. So everyone's really jam-packed, and I'm only taking 5 classes, but I know a lot of guys are taking 6. And the injury risk. Athletes risk their bodies to perform. They're just doing whatever they can to win games because, I mean, that's their job, but also because they just want to do it, like they're putting themselves out there for injury. And they can risk their careers that will discontinue their scholarships. There's been a couple players that they were worried that were going to lose their scholarships. For example, Kevin Ware was from Louisville. If you remember in the Final Four last year, he broke his leg really bad. And over the summer, he was really worried about losing his scholarship. So he decided to redshirt his year, and he got it back, which means that you're basically eligible for next year of athletics, but you only have to attend college for 4 years. And then they can contain life-altering injuries. If you remember a couple of years ago, a Rutgers football player was on a kickoff, and he ran down the field and put his head down, and he snapped his neck, and he's now paralyzed and can't walk. I know it's an extreme, but people get hurt all the time. We have injuries all the time in the training room, and we've had a ton of kids been sent to the hospital this semester already, and it's not even the season. And like I said, they can affect their ability to learn or attend class. Losing a scholarship would stink. I mean, no one wants not to be able to go to school, especially when you're already here, and risking yourself or going out and doing something like that, you can really hurt yourself, and you have to risk your scholarship and being able to come to school. So then these are just a couple of guys. This is Marcus Lattimore. He tore his ACL and everything you can basically in your knee, and he came back and he did the same thing, redshirted, but he was hurt, and he lost his. He was going to be probably the Heisman last year, and he lost it after he got hurt, and he dropped in his NFL salary and everything else. This is the Rutgers player that was paralyzed on kickoff, and then this is Kevin Ware, the guy that broke his leg in Louisville. So in conclusion, I think college athletes or athletics has proven to provide profits for their schools. No matter how you put it, all those football teams, they were generating a lot of money for their school, and it only was benefiting the schools. Odd hours do not allow athletes to work normal jobs. I've tried it before. It's just really difficult. There's no good hours or set hours that you could possibly work. Things change every single week. College athletes risk injury and lives. I mean, I just showed you the slides with the pictures of players hurt in the past couple of years. And they should be allowed to receive a stipend based on their performance of the school or on how they're doing. I don't believe that I don't know what stipend or what the amount should be. I just believe that college athletes deserve to have a little something extra just because they just don't have time and they're willing to do certain things for the school and generate as much money as they have. Any questions?
What percentage of scholarship do you have? I mean, you don't have a full, obviously. So.
Well, for lacrosse, we do it differently. You basically come in with no money, so I came in paying full tuition, and it's based on how much you play. So I started since I was a freshman. So after freshman year, I got $10,000, and then this year I have $20,000, and then depending on if I start again or make an accolade, then I'll either get a 30 or 40 foot full. So it depends on how you perform as well as how much help you need. Because I don't have any financial aid other than the athletic scholarships, and they take that into account.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure putting on the athlete, isn't it, to perform and a lot of competition for spots.
I mean, I'm in junior. There's kids that don't have any money, and they probably won't have money for the next 40 or for their next year. So I mean, they've been paying full price or anything, and a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of them don't have any academic scholarships, so I know a lot of people, a couple kids on our team are presidential scholars, so they're paying nothing, they get their books paid for and everything, but if you're not an athletic scholarship, you're paying a lot of money, just like everyone else is here, so it's hard to balance everything.
Obviously, you gotta love what you do. Yeah. Do you happen to know, do we charge students, you may know, or anybody, to go to the Siena basketball games?
Basketball games you get charged too, but you can get like the dog pound. I
Oh,
think
if you
is,
join that group, then you get in for nothing, otherwise you'd have to.
you get to pay.
Still have to pay.
It's like a season
It's like
pass.
$35
It's like $40 for like a year.
$40, then you go to all the games,
Yeah.
and you have to sit generally in that area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
usually, yeah, you don't have to like, you can like sit anywhere because there's usually a lot of empty seats, but.
I saw when you did the chart, you don't have to go back to it, but there was quite a few schools that charged, it looked like quite a bit of money for their students to go to football games, the ones, you know, that you had on.
Well, that's, I mean, big universities, and my friends go to UConn, and they all go to the games. They pay, I know it's pretty expensive to get their season tickets, but they pay for their season tickets and go to every single game, and the entire school goes, so, I mean.
Oh, yeah, like Duke, I mean, they line up, months ahead to get their tickets.
Yeah.
And, weeks ahead, and you can't camp out, but then they're paying a pretty, I mean, I was thinking maybe they make so much other money, from the TVs and stuff like that. I thought they may be giving the students, it's free, with the logic being that they need a full stadium and all of that, all that furor. That's what makes the TV, so interesting, and obviously makes them a premium, a good team also, but, to play. So
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting. Just ballpark me, how many hours a week do you put in? It sounds like you put in a lot.
Well, whenever we like do polls and stuff, it always comes out that we say that we practice or we have something to do for 8 hours a day. So that's either watching film, like actual practice, lifting on your own, or like we do individual work. So, I mean, today we lifted already, we ran, we have film later, and we had individual this morning, so.
Do you have any other employment? Do you work part-time or any sport study?
Like during the season or during the school?
During the school year?
No. I tried to work at the lacrosse, like the breakaway lacrosse is right down the road, but there's just no hours I can really work. The only time I can go in is I can swing the sticks, so I usually sometimes I'll go out at 10 o'clock at night, and then I'll swing them until however long it takes, and then I'll just come back and I'll have them done, and I'll come back whenever I'm done. But it usually takes like 2 hours or whatever. However many sticks, depends on how many I need done.
We have a lot of students, and I know many of it in this class, athletics here, I know that you put a lot of time in stuff, really, tribute to you. I mean, obviously you like to do it, but still, it's not as easy as it looks, is it?
No.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.